Today and Dan Comics, we cast the X-Men. Like I said with my Fantastic Four video, this is my opinion who I think should play the X-Men. This doesn't have to be your opinion. You can have your own opinion and leave them down in the comments who you think should play a certain character. And if you don't agree with who I've chosen, leave it down in the comments too. Let me know who would you've chosen instead. Alright, let's get into it. Some of these actors are going to be unknown. People may not know most of them, but I chose a lot of unknown actors because they can really make the characters their own. First, we're going to start off with Gambit. Gambit is none other than Gaspar Del Giallo. I'm gonna be honest, I can't pronounce the name well, but just look at the picture. He looks like Gambit. He even has the accent to go with it. Guys, this guy is Gambit for me. Next up is Colossus. Now this was actually easier than I thought it was going to be. If you watch Creed 2, you know who I'm going to be casting. Florian Matano. He's from Russia and would fit the character of Colossus well. One of the things people didn't like about the Deadpool movies is that Colossus is metal in every scene. But now, with Florian Matano, you can have both the metal Colossus and the regular looking guy. Plus Colossus is a big character, metally built and very strong even without his metal form. And I think Florian Matano fits the role perfectly. And if you don't believe me, just watch Creed 2. That strong, big character, that is Colossus. For the casting of Rogue, I have Alexandra Daddario. Alexandra Daddario can play the emotional role. The role of a person wanting to find a cure for who she is. The role of a person hates her life but finds a way to work through the pain. And if the rumors are true, Alexandra Daddario as Rogue could happen in the Captain Marvel sequel where Rogue is introduced as a villain. So look out for that, guys. For the casting of Nightcrawler, I had a bit of research to do. I had to find people who could pull off the role of Nightcrawler with down to a T, and I found one person that could play that role. That is Timothée Chalamet. One very important thing to remember about Nightcrawler is that he's a very skilled character. He's a very skilled swords character. And you have to use a lot of wires and makeup. Timothée Chalamet has it done. He looks just like Nightcrawler. He can do exactly as Nightcrawler is done. I think Timothée Chalamet is a character, and if they want to bring in that religious factor, let's look at Timothée Chalamet's movie Living in a Church. He can play a very religious character, and he does it very well and very Catholic. Timothée Chalamet is Nightcrawler. Now we're doing one of my favorite X-Men, Storm. For Storm, I have no other than Janelle Monáe. One of the biggest disappointments with the old X-Men franchises was their misuse of Storm. Halle Berry was a great cast, but the movies mainly focused on Wolverine and not be able to share the spotlight with Storm and Cyclops. I think the MCU could fix this. And I think Janelle Monáe would be a perfect casting choice as Storm because she can deliver the great hero that Storm is. Now we're going to cast Jean Grey. I think that Evan Rachel Wood would bring Jean to life perfectly, not ruin her like the first X-Men series did. Jean is a strong and powerful character that the other X-Men movies didn't do properly, and I think Evan Rachel Wood would embody Jean perfectly on the big screen. If you'd watch her shows like Westworld and other shows that she's acting, you can see that Evan Rachel Wood has the side that both sides of Jean, the Dark Phoenix side and the normal side. So if Marvel ever decides to go down the Dark Phoenix route, Evan Rachel Wood would be the perfect casting for Jean Grey. This is Jean Grey, ladies and gentlemen. Cyclops is the leader of the X-Men. He's the second in command after Charles Xavier, but the movies didn't really capture that properly. Cyclops in the X-Men movies before was just somebody who barks orders. But the MCU should sort out to fix this, and I think the perfect casting for Cyclops is my boy Armie Hammer. Armie Hammer is Cyclops. He can play the leader, he can play the person that's in charge and the person that is commanding, but he can also have the side to him that the other X-Men movies left out. The tactician side, a man who goes into every strategy with a plan. That's what the movies left out. So my boy Armie Hammer would be the perfect casting for Cyclops. Out of all these other casting, Armie Hammer is the one that I want to see the most on the big screen after Wolverine. As we've seen in movies like The Man from Uncle, Army Hammer has it all. So Marvel, if this somehow by miracle that this video gets to you, cast Army Hammer as Cyclops, please. Now, for my favorite X-Men of all time, Wolverine. Now I'm going to show you guys two choices that I've selected for Wolverine. One of them most likely not going to happen. The other one could very well happen, but I'm going to show you two. So my two choices for Wolverine are Tom Hardy and Scott Eastwood. Now this was a very hard decision because Wolverine is my favorite X-Men. And it was very hard to decide, but eventually I came down to these two choices. Most likely Tom Hardy is not going to be cast in the role of Wolverine, which is really sad. So that's why I've also chose Scott Eastwood, because Scott Eastwood can play Wolverine, I think, very well on the big screen. Now it's very sad that Tom Hardy won't be able to play Wolverine, but we get him in Venom and he's very good in Venom, so we'll have to hope for the best. It is very sad. Just look at this artwork, but I think that Scott Eastwood would be good as Wolverine. And I think Scott Eastwood is the choice for Wolverine in the MCU. Wolverine is a very vicious character. He's like an animal. And if you watch some of Scott Eastwood's movies, which I'm not going to list right now because this video is very long, that he can play the role of Wolverine very well. And I think that Marvel, somehow again, if this ever gets to you, you should cast Scott Eastwood as Wolverine. Last but definitely not least, we have the team's leader, Charles Xavier. For Charles Xavier, I have none other than Ray Fiennes to take the role. I think that Ray Fiennes will make a great Charles Xavier. You need someone very good after all the work that Patrick Stewart has done in the role of Charles Xavier. And I think that Ray Fiennes can do just as good, maybe even better, than Patrick Stewart in the role of Charles Xavier. Marvel cast Ray Fiennes. If you enjoyed today's video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to our new channel. It will really help us out. Catch you guys later.